There is something seriously wrong when South Park understands addiction better than the World Health Organization.
Oh, shit.
So you've got dopamine, right? That's the chemical that gets released in your brain whenever you do something pleasurable, like eating, sex, and that's just nature, right? Like rabbits and fish and shit. They need dopamine so that they want to consume and reproduce.
Okay.
But because humans have progressed and now have access to all the shit they want whenever they want it, it's easy for them to overdo and have dopamine problems. You know, it's not fucking rocket science, this stuff.
So there's nothing spiritually wrong with me?
No. It's like, okay, it's like being diabetic. You know, it's like you can eat wrong and chemicals get released from your liver in a weird way. You know, you've been eating gluten and shit. And then eventually you've got a chemical imbalance from your liver. And something clicked and now you're diabetic forever, right? So like if you keep doing something too much, eventually there's a dopamine up, right? And you're kind of screwed up for life.
So what does that mean? I can get addicted to everything so I can't enjoy anything?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it means.
The addict people said something about me filling a hole.
Well, who's not filling a f***ing hole, right? You know, I mean, what kind of bullshit is that?
The W.H.O has now set a precedent regarding video game addiction. They define gaming addiction as a pattern of persistent or recurring gaming behavior, which may be online or offline, manifested by impaired control over gaming, increasing priority given to gaming to the extent that gaming takes precedent over other life interests and daily activities, and continuation or escalation of gaming despite the occurrence of negative consequences. Let's finger blast those words for a moment. A pattern of persistent or recurrent social media behavior, manifested by impaired control over their accounts, increasing priority given to social media to the extent that social media takes precedence over other life interests and daily activities, and continuation or escalation of social media use despite the occurrence of negative consequences. Their wording is so basic, it can be applied to any activity. Sports, smartphones, gaming, eating, fucking, it can be anything because addictions start with the addict, not the addiction itself. It is no wonder we are a nation of addicts when the retards, and I can say that word as I'm on the spectrum, and the retards who are supposed to inform us are more addicted to the headlines they generate than helping those in need. I am not saying that game addiction is not real. It does happen, just like your dad's addicted to cock and your mom's addicted to football. The addiction is not the root cause of the addiction. It is merely a byproduct of it. And when an organization like the WHO acts like the addiction itself is the thing to worry about, you'll then turn reasonably healthy gaming addicts into something far worse, like a Twitter troll. And we all know where that leads. President of the United States of Twitter. Because that's the only place you'll be taken seriously. Addiction is a serious issue, just like the warts on your dick that won't go away unless you start using topical cream every day. Sadly, those warts will fester and the pus is going to reek when you have respected institutions confusing the masses with half-truths. If you want to help addicts, we need to admit that most of us have one addiction or another. The difference is in how you control and use that addiction. Meth is addicting and can ruin your life just as fast as social media addiction. Then there are the addictions that fall into a kind of gray area. If you're addicted to reading, learning, eating healthy, working out, or playing video games, chances are you're a happier person and only need to learn prioritization and some social skills. If we keep masking addiction as the addiction and not the lack of willpower and self-control in the addict, then that wart will turn into a bad case of herpes. Worst of all, those warts and herpes will never go away unless you realize the root cause is that skank you keep banging.